morning class. I'm Stephen Hanley. Today I'll be talking about agricultural cloning and why it would be a good thing for food production in the future. So my thesis is, although it may not seem like it's scary, or it may seem like a scary, inefficient technique, agricultural cloning is actually a low-risk procedure that allows for more efficient means of food production. And all this is for in the future. Right now it's in its infancy, but there's a lot of contention. A lot of people have formed opinions against agricultural cloning already, and they haven't really given it much of a chance. And I'm basically just going to make a case for agricultural cloning, so in the future, when these kind of things become more prevalent and we'll have to start voting on them and things like that, maybe we have a more educated, open mind. So the main process used for agricultural cloning is a process known as the somatic cell nuclear transfer process. And basically, this process involves taking a female's egg, removing the nucleus, and then picking a desirable male, in this case a sheep, a pig, or a cow, inserting the nucleus of that desirable male into the egg, allowing it to develop a little bit, and once it's reached an embryonic state, the embryo is inserted into a surrogate animal to birth the clone naturally from that point on. This process has been demonstrated in its infancy as early as 1891 with sea urchins. And since then, this process has been done on various animals such as salamanders, most livestock animals like cows, pigs, and sheep, and just about anything else you can think of, as this process has been used to clone them. So there's about 3 main points against agricultural cloning, and a lot of them are rooted in just not knowing a lot about cloning, and like I said, it being a spooky kind of subject, mainly because of maybe popular culture or mainstream media. But once you really look into it, these points against agricultural cloning don't really hold any weight. And the first one is that food from cloned animals isn't as good as food from normal animals. And this one, like I said, is mainly just bred from maybe popular culture, mainstream media, or whatever it may be. And the reality, as far as from a 2002 FDA report, is that the health, the meat quality, even like the blood quality of animals that were cloned and brought to life versus traditional birthing, it's non-distinguishable, or if there are any differences, they're very minor. They don't really come up in testing. So essentially, cloned animals are the same, if not better, than traditionally birthed animals. And there's no, like, the cloning process doesn't make it any less of an animal or any lower grade. Next one is cloning isn't very reliable because it's hard to do successfully. And this one is another one based mainly off maybe a general idea that cloning is not that good. It doesn't work very well. And although cloning is in its infancy, the science has been greatly developing exponentially. In fact, and the efficiency of cloning has gone way up since maybe these ideas were first come up. So it's definitely, the whole science of cloning has definitely gotten better now than it was. And even a Harvard Medical School article suggests that this is the case, and that big hurdles are being jumped and overcome in the strides to make cloning more efficient. The last point I'll be covering is that cloning leads to a less diverse gene pool for the animals. And this point mainly stems from not knowing how farmers and agriculturalists use cloning for their benefit. And one main way they do it is, or the way they do it is, they get, let's say like what they clone is like a desirable male or desirable female, and they use those clones to breed cattle or pigs or sheep, and it's those offspring that are used to make the food. So although they are cloning to make the desirable parents, the offspring are still, genetically diverse. There's still enough of them to where the gene pool doesn't really shrink enough, and it doesn't really cause any problems for the group of animals. So, in conclusion, cloning is kind of a scary new thing, and it's trying to be implemented in a lot of ways in our society. One way, in fact, is agriculturally to make desirable food or more desirable livestock that can make us better food. And it's not unethical. There's nothing wrong with it. It's simply another way of getting a desired outcome. There's traditional birthing. There's some other methods of like gene choosing, but cloning is just another. It's just another method to get more efficient livestock and better food at the end. I hope after this you'll give a better light to cloning in the future, and hopefully this kind of took away the stigma of cloning in general.